It's Roxy, Kyler, and Eli, and we are so excited to be with you today. Today is a special Sunday. It's Communion Sunday. So right now in the sanctuary, our staff is flipping our sanctuary, and Tim is getting ready to do a special communion service via Zoom. But this is going to be like a 5-minute abbreviated kids lesson while they're getting ready. So everyone can watch and stay tuned for our communion service following this video. And we are going to switch up our Advent story. So if you've been doing Godly Play for the past couple of years, you'll know that I'm going out of order. But it's for a reason, and it's so that we can continue the rest of the Sundays talking about the same topics that Pastor Tim will be preaching on. So without further ado, we are in the season of purple, which is a royal color. It's the season of Advent. And we're all along this journey to Bethlehem. Last Sunday was the first Sunday of Advent, where we talked about the prophets. And prophets are people who know just what to pay attention to. They're not quite sure what's going to happen in Bethlehem, but the prophets pointed towards Bethlehem and said, stop, listen, pay attention. There's something really important that's about to happen. This Advent season, we're all stopping to pay attention to those small moments that say, hey, even amidst all this craziness and kind of weird life that we're living right now, something important is happening. There is light in this darkness, and we are all called on this journey together. That is the first Sunday. Today, the second Sunday of Advent, we are going to remember, out of order, but we will remember the Magi. And the Magi, the 3 wise men, were people who knew so much about so many things that some people thought that they were magic, which is where we get the word Magi, magic. And the Magi were able to look at the stars and the wind and the earth, pay attention to things that are happening around us to be able to understand when the best time to travel through the mountains was, or maybe to go out to sea. And the Magi could say, oh no, there's a storm coming, you can tell by this and that. Well, the Magi one night saw this great star and looked in their books to try to figure out, what does this star mean? What does this star tell us? And it told them that a new king was coming. And so they decided to follow it. Not quite knowing or understanding yet, but they followed. They listened, they followed, and they prepared gifts to bring to baby Jesus. And it wasn't the kind of gifts that you would expect to bring. What would you bring to a baby? And give to a baby?
A pacifier.
A pacifier.
I'll bring toys to a baby.
Yeah, toys to a baby. The 3 wise men brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were gifts for a king. Interesting gifts, but meaningful gifts. On the first Sunday and on the second Sunday of Advent, we light our Advent candles. So if you have an Advent wreath that we made last week, please follow along with us and light these. Ask your parents to light these candles with you to remember the light in the darkness. Eli, don't touch the table. Jesus brings new light Do y'all remember what happens when we use the snuffer? There's light right there. But when we snuff it, and when it feels dark and scary, we pay attention to the signs and the reminders, just as the prophets and the wise men did. We say, just like the smoke, God is everywhere. God's with us. God's with you. God's with everyone, in everything. Now I wonder, where did you see God this week?
I saw God in the air.
In the air? What about you, Kyler?
I saw God in the plants.
In the plants? Yeah, those are nice little reminders. I saw God when it was really, really cold out yesterday, and I had to work outside in someone's yard, doing yard work. And I was so cold, and we were all so cold, and my coworker brought hand warmers. And not only did her thoughtfulness literally warm my hands and my feet, because I put some in my shoes too, her thoughtfulness of caring for each of us as we worked together outside warmed my heart and showed me that she loved and cared me. And I was able to pass that on to other people. Now, for our creative response today, we have a project. So last week, we made an Advent wreath together in whatever way that you have at home that we can light our candles. This week, I would love for you and your family to start a tradition of bringing a gift to baby Jesus as a birthday present.
Okay.
And the 3 wise men prepared gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. We're not going to do that. And we aren't necessarily going to give toys to baby Jesus, right? But what we can do for God, for Jesus, is to give our acts of kindness, our acts of love, our acts of generosity to others as a gift to Jesus. So what we like to do in our tradition in our family is all throughout Advent, we keep a box. So it could be, maybe y'all decorate a shoe box at home. Maybe you have a special box already. We have a wooden box that just says love and an infinity sign. It was for Caleb and my wedding, so it has that inscripted in it. But this was a special box to us for many reasons. And so this is what we do to write down. So we have a little piece of paper. Eli decorated some really pretty like music paper that we weren't using. But you could just use scraps piece of paper, construction paper, whatever. And every night as a family, as you eat dinner, write down a kind thing that each of you did that day. Because those are gifts for baby Jesus. Those are gifts to God, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So in whatever fashion that looks like for you all today, I invite you to have a box, make a box, pick a box, get some paper, get a pen, put that in, and then keep it at your table. We will eventually put it underneath our tree, and on Christmas Day, Christmas morning, before any of us open up any presents for ourselves, we'll get out this box and we'll read all of our gifts and acts of love that we did for other people throughout all of Advent. So I hope that this is a meaningful tradition that your family can do together. We'll see you later. Enjoy communion service.